The main character in this story is named Cheryl, and she is 22 years old. One day she was returning home after doing some shopping. At the same moment, a car that was passing by purposefully did not stop and pushed the girl. The driver who got out of the car the same started getting angry with the lady. Justin, the director of an important firm, also got out of the car. Well, the girl could stand up for herself, so she answered the boor, the driver, who began to blame her for everything. "Are you completely naked? You hit me! It's your fault! And after that, you still dare to yell at me?" The main character got angry. "You want money, don't you?" Then the cocky man answered her. At the same moment, a little girl came out of the car. She approached Cheryl with a carrot that had fallen out of the girl's bag. "Mommy," said the little girl, and held out the carrot to the girl. "No, I'm not your mommy, little girl. So who's a good girl?" said Cheryl, and picked the little girl up in her arms. It was obvious that the baby liked this girl, for she called her mommy. After a few seconds, her nanny came running up to the baby. "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't keep an eye on the young lady." The maid began to apologize to the girl's father, but when the nanny took the child from Cheryl's arms, the little girl immediately started crying and begging back to her mommy. Of course, the strict father did not emphasize his attention to this, so he took the child, got in the car, and they went on their way on their business. Cheryl was left standing alone along with the scattered bag of groceries. The next day, Cheryl was called to the very same house Justin was in. "Welcome, Miss Cheryl. President Justin invites you to come into the living room," informed the girl's driver. At this time, the man was already waiting for the girl and was holding his daughter in his arms. The baby was crying for her mom again, so the nanny suggested that she hold the baby. When Cheryl walked into the office, the first thing she did was meet Justin. Cheryl was about to start apologizing, but the guy told her to take a seat next to him. "Today, Miss Cheryl, I invited you here for a case," said the man. That's when the little girl, as soon as she saw a familiar face, ran straight into the girl's arms, calling her mommy again. Of course, Cheryl graciously took the girl in her arms. "It's you again, and you're calling me wrong again. I'm not your mom, so call me auntie," asked the girl. She was generally surprised that the little girl was calling her mommy, since usually at her age, children already know who their mother is and recognize her. Anna is already a year old, and she still doesn't know. Based on this, the protagonist decided to ask Justin where the girl's mother is now. As it turned out, a year ago, the woman passed away in a car accident. "I'm sorry, I did not know. I sympathize. She's a sweet girl. I loved her at first sight," brought her regrets by the girl. "That day, Anna saw you and called you Mom. The whole time she didn't see you," Anna cried. "Today, I invited you, largely because of her." Unexpectedly, the man told her, "I'm asking you to be a mother to Anna," Justin asked in a serious tone. Cheryl couldn't even believe what she had just heard. It even sounded like a marriage proposal. But the guy decided to explain himself as well. "Don't misunderstand. What I mean is that you will use her mother's identity to take care of Anna. In fact, just like the nanny, you're supposed to be her friend and give her motherly love," explained Justin. "Mr. Justin, I will disagree with you. With a high status like yours, it's very easy to be misunderstood by others, and you don't want others to spread rumors about you, right?" The girl then clarified. "Besides, she's a child. If I start using her mother's identity, for a while she won't know the truth, and I'll love and sympathize with her more and more, and when she realizes, I'll leave. Then she'll be even more hurt." The protagonist spoke up. "Miss Cheryl, I'm sorry to have bothered you," replied the man, who realized that the girl would not agree to go along with his arrangement. He now ordered Aunt Lana to take the baby from the girl's arms. But as soon as Justin let Cheryl go, the girl started crying for her again. "Mr. Justin, she's still a baby. She needs attention and love. If you could spend more time with her, there wouldn't be a dire need to hire a nanny," explained the protagonist. But the guy only ignored what Cheryl said and kicked her out of the office. As soon as the girl left, Anna started crying even more. "Anna, she really isn't your mom." Justin tried to convey to his child, But the little girl didn't want to listen to him at all. It was then that Justin was finally convinced that they had to convince Cheryl to stay. Otherwise, he would not be able to cope with raising the little girl. As soon as the girl left the office, even on the other side of the door, she could hear Anna crying. The girl remembered that she had also cried for her mom in the past. These memories were not the most pleasant for Cheryl, so the girl tried to force herself not to think about it anymore. Especially, it was necessary to go to the store for groceries. But after a couple minutes, Justin came out of the office and stopped the girl. When Cheryl returned to the baby girl, Anna was overjoyed to see her. "Cheryl, please read the contract. If you are not happy with any of the terms, speak up. If you agree to the terms, then sign here, and the contract will immediately take effect," Justin stated. "I will find a different solution later, but right now the most important thing for me is that Anna is happy. Anna cries all the time. I'm afraid it will have a bad effect on her health," explained the man who saw that Cheryl was still standing by her opinion and was not going to work as a nanny. Reading the contract, the protagonist noticed that in the last clause, it was stated that it was forbidden to fall in love with Justin. The girl was surprised by such a point of the contract. The guy looked too self-confident, however. He is really handsome and rich. That's when Cheryl decided to inform that she would sign, but only she had one condition. "Speak up. I will try my best to fulfill it." In a serious tone, the man replied, "I will only work until 5:30 in the afternoon every day. Then someone else must come who will take care of Anna," said the girl, and then Justin asked her to explain the reason for these conditions. "I'm worried about my future. I need to think about my career. I hope you don't need to explain that," replied the girl. "If you are not satisfied with the salary, just say so. I want you to be with my daughter all the time, including you have to sleep next to her," said the man. "I don't care about the money. I can't become a lifelong nanny for Anna. I need to arrange my future. Besides, I think I'm the one making the decision." Cheryl continued to insist. The maids who heard their conversation were surprised at such a statement from the girl. Until this day, no one had dared to cross the boss. This girl seemed quite bold. "If I don't agree, you won't sign the contract, will you?" realized the man. "I love Anna too, and I know you're worried about her, but that's not a good enough reason for me to give up my future." The girl continued to speak up. "I see. I have an idea. You will do your job after 4:00 in the afternoon every day, but Anna will be with you all the time while you work. I will hire someone to help you with the baby," said Justin, and then the girl agreed to such terms. She also demanded that these terms be spelled out in the contract, and only then did she sign the document. "Mr. Justin, the little one has fallen asleep. I will leave to get ready," said the girl, and Justin informed her that after noon he would send a man to pick up the girl. After that, Cheryl walked out of the office. Right after that, Justin decided to call his acquaintance David to help him find out something about a certain person. "Let's do it secretly and quickly. Her name is Cheryl," said Justin. "Have you forgotten about Donnie already?" David, the CEO of the company, asked disgruntled. "Don't get me wrong, it's because of Anna. She got too attached to Cheryl. She called her mommy, she cried nonstop until Cheryl came back. Plus, the kid only listens to that girl," narrated Justin. That said, Cheryl was nothing like Justin's late spouse. The age is the same, but in appearance they are completely opposite. I offered her to be a mother to Anna. And yes, I know she was selling grilled kebabs at the night market. I made a contract with her, but I feel that she doesn't look like an ordinary street vendor. I have some data from last month on Cheryl. I want to know if she has any relationship with Han or not," Justin explained. Then a memory flashed through the boy's mind. The news was showing that the heir to the corporation had been in a serious car accident. Donnie was Justin's older brother. The first young gentleman was now out of danger, but seriously injured. But doctors said that gradually the brother would recover. Unfortunately, Justin's wife could not be saved. The news broadcasted that Donnie had been injured in a terrible accident, which happened shortly after he got the position of chairman. The position of chairman was given to Justin, the third young gentleman, instead of Max. Sir, you have a business meeting scheduled this afternoon. All the necessary documents have been prepared, Justin's assistant informed one day. It was clear that this accident was a pure accident. But still, something about this mishap was not right. The next day, when Cheryl came into her own, the girl happened to meet Alex, the deputy director of the band. "Where have you been? Why didn't you pick up your phone?" Started to question the guy. "My phone ran out of battery. I was meeting someone, Justin," told Cheryl. "When did you have time to meet him? Why did you go out with him?" Immediately, Alex got angry. But the girl continued to communicate with him in a completely calm tone. She told him that she met Justin purely by chance, and he was the one who found her and suggested to talk. "He wants to hire me as a foster mom for his daughter," informed the protagonist. "I will be both mother and nanny with a monthly salary of $3,000. Soon I will have enough money to go to another city," told Cheryl. However, the guy still wasn't particularly happy about this news. "Are you really going to work with him? If your father finds out, he'll be really hurt," said Alex. But the girl wasn't supposed to care about that at all anymore. "Huh? Really? Since the day your mother became part of Han's family, I'm no longer part of the family. Justin's daughter is really nice. She considers me her mom. When I see her, I remember myself as a child," told Cheryl. "Cheryl, I realize you never forgave him for your mother's death, but he cares about you," said Alex, and that had the girl completely grossed out. "No, he's the one who forced my mom to leave. He's the reason she died in a plane crash that day. I will never forgive him," started yelling at the top of Cheryl's voice. "Alex, you've always taken care of me and protected me. I'm grateful. But you're still my son, and you know very well what my relationship with him is like. If you keep advising me to forgive him, you'll stop being welcome at my place." The girl explained her serious intentions. Although the guy assured her that he didn't want to change Cheryl's mind, it was just that the guy had read that Justin had found a girl too fast, and it was a bit weird. But the girl still wasn't going to listen to this guy. She even defiantly covered her ears to show how much she wasn't going to listen to other people's opinions. "That's his problem. I don't even want to know about it. Rest assured, there's no misunderstanding between Justin and I. He just needs my help. Even if there are any personal rubs between him and my father, he won't give me any trouble," the girl assured. Then Alex was finally convinced that nothing could change her opinion. "I have to clean up a bit, then they'll come with me," said Cheryl, and then Alex offered his help. The guy could give her a ride in his car, but Cheryl still refused. "I'm sorry, of course, but if I go with you, your groupies will eat me up. Moreover, Mr. Justin will personally come to pick me up," said the girl. But at the same second, her phone rang. Cheryl found out that Mary was in the hospital. She even told her brother about it. "Mary is in the hospital. She can't move. Come with me," the girl urgently asked. At this time, Mr. Justin was informed that Mr. David arrived 5 minutes ago. He is waiting for the guy on his floor. As soon as Justin entered his acquaintance's office, he immediately asked what David had found out. David handed over all the information he had just learned in the form of printed documents. That's when the guy confirmed that the girl was indeed Han's daughter. She really is Han's daughter, but 9 years ago, she left her family. Then she quit her job as an architect, which she loved, reported David, and then Justin assumed that the girl had nothing to do with their group's business. However, David still didn't like the girl since her father was the reason Donnie had died. "And you made a pact with her, without asking my opinion. Do you want to use her to get back at him?" Angered David. "No, I can't use her like that. All I need right now is for Anna to cry less," explained the boy. Just then, Justin got a call from her nanny to tell him that the little lady had been crying for too long, and no one could soothe her. The nanny also told him that they had gone to Mrs. Cheryl's house, but the girl wasn't home. At that time, Cheryl herself was outside the operating room. She called Justin and informed him that her friend was hurt. "That's not my concern. You signed a contract, and your concern at this point is to be with Anna. She won't stop crying. She needs you," roughly replied Mr. Justin. After which, the man immediately dropped the incoming call. He was very annoyed with this whole situation. Plus, this girl turned out to be Han's daughter. After Cheryl talked on the phone with the guy, Alex also inquired about whether Justin was looking for her. "Anna woke up and not finding me started crying. Justin wants me to come immediately and take care of Anna," explained the girl. "Alex, you know him, don't you? Is it normal for him to be so fickle?" The protagonist decided to inquire. "I've never met him, but I've heard he's pretty constant and not prone to change," admitted the brother. It really did seem strange. Just a few minutes later, Justin and his guards rushed into the hospital to pick up Cheryl's girl. "Mistress Cheryl, I hope you'll come with me right now," ordered the man. "Mr. Justin, my friend was shot and is in surgery right now. I can't go with you," the girl pointed out stubbornly, but then the guy asked her if the girl had any other relatives. "Mary is my best friend. I am the only person close to her. Moreover, after the surgery, someone will have to take care of her." Cheryl started to explain herself, but then the guy forcefully grabbed her. Alex was about to stand up for the girl, but David covered his mouth. "Mr. Alex, this is none of your business," David declared, and continued to pull Cheryl behind him. "The contract has come into effect, and it requires her to fulfill the terms of the contract, and your job is to look after Anna," explained the cruel man. Looking at all this, Justin stood quietly to the side. The boy knew that after Donnie's death, David had been a broken man for a long time. His hatred for Han had been eating him up. Then, too, to save herself, Cheryl had thought of no better way than to scream to the entire hospital that she was being touched by thugs. And even when David tried to cover the girl's mouth with his hand, she bit him right on his finger. "How dare you grab me and drag me somewhere against my will? Mr. Justin, for the sake of getting your daughter to stop crying, do I have to abandon my friend?" Already directly, Cheryl had decided to address her main boss. "If you are so immoral, then I all the more refuse to work for you. I want to cancel the contract. With your funds, you can easily find a replacement for me. I will pay compensation." Absolutely serious tone, stated the girl. At that moment, a doctor came out of the operating room. The doctor said that the operation had been successful, but a temporary recovery was needed. In 15 days, Mary would be able to return home. As soon as the girl was carried out on a stretcher, Alex inquired about her condition. Mary told him that the doctor had administered an anesthetic, so she felt no pain. "Don't worry about it. Why weren't you careful? I was worried about you," said Cheryl, sweetly holding her friend's hands. Mary then asked what those people outside her room were, but Cheryl decided not to bother her friend, so she promised to tell her about them later. That's when Justin intervened in their conversation. "Mistress Cheryl, your friend will be taken care of by our family's servants. I hope you can now return to your duties with Anna." Justin pointed out, now it was really time for the girl to go with the man. First and foremost, she was doing it for the sake of the small child. "Mr. Justin, I think you should respect my right to socialize with others." As soon as they walked out, the girl stated, "You signed a contract. You must do your job with Anna," said the man. At the same moment, he got a call from the nanny on the video call. The guy purposely turned his phone so that the little girl who was looking at the phone screen could see her favorite babysitter. "Sir Justin, when can Miss Cheryl come over? The little lady is obviously crying. We can't get her to calm down." The nanny could be heard saying this into the phone. Cheryl decided to take the phone away from the supervisor with her own hands so that she could have some time with the little girl. "Anna, little one, listen. Auntie will be right back with your daddy," the girl promised. Just then, Cheryl asked Mr. Justin to tell her friend that the girl would be back to check on her this evening. In the moment, Justin realized he had a right to treat her that way. After all, she was Han's daughter. "I'd appreciate it if she wasn't his daughter," thought Justin, but after all, nothing could be changed. "Mr. Justin, please tell Mary I'll be there to see her after 9. Tell her to rest and not to worry about me, the protagonist also asked, but the guy gently hinted to her that he was not a messenger to run her errands. So I'll go myself, and since I really value my friends, I'll spend a lot of time with her. I don't even know when I can go with you. The girl answered him, purposely manipulating her decision. Finally, after a few minutes, Cheryl arrived at the little girl's house. As soon as the girl got out of the car, Anna immediately rushed into the arms of her favorite mommy. When David returned home, the girl asked him if he had relayed the girl's words. Of course, the guy didn't like the fact that it was the girl who was thinking of keeping him on the run. But the man didn't give a hoot. That's when David decided to hug his niece, but the little girl wasn't about to leave her nanny's embrace. "Mr. David, Anna doesn't like it when you hug her. You don't have to make her cry," said Cheryl. "Mr. David, don't look at me with that murderous look. I didn't incite Anna to ignore you. Your cold look really scared her." The girl also added. After that, it was finally time to eat. Justin asked the nanny to feed his baby. "Anna, have some porridge. Anna, be obedient. Eat the porridge," asked the girl, but the baby was still tossing and turning and was not going to eat the food. "Mistress, I forgot to warn you. Getting Anna to eat the porridge is very difficult," said Justin. It gives the girl difficulties, but as if the father himself is happy because of it. The birth father sees his daughter not eating, and he only gloats. The protagonist was slightly angry. At the same time, the girl's goal was to feed the baby girl first and foremost, so Cheryl asked the child to look at her and open her mouth wide. Then the baby easily swallowed a spoonful of porridge. Cheryl was pleased enough to give the baby a kiss on the cheek. They looked really cute, really like mother and daughter. The guys themselves, who were standing nearby, were extremely surprised that this woman was able to feed such a harmful little girl. "Anna, dear, Auntie will step away, wash your plate, and come right back to you," Cheryl informed Cheryl at the same time. But even so, right after the girl left, the baby started crying loudly. Justin decided to take his baby in his arms to calm her down, but the baby wouldn't stop crying. So the man informed her that Daddy would take her to Mommy. In the moment, Justin reflected on the whole situation. "Anna, you don't need a father like me now. This woman knows the house well. She went into the kitchen without asking where she was. If the records are to be believed, she is the eldest daughter who graduated from college. So why is she selling barbecue on the street? Maybe David was wrong. She and Han clearly have a conflict, apparently over another one of her father's weddings. And Alex, her mom's son, but she seems to have a good relationship with him." Justin was running through his head. "Mr. Justin, I'm sorry, but you and Anna don't seem to be that close. You don't spend enough time with her," communicated Cheryl's point of view. Of course, such a harsh yet honest statement slightly hurt her father. Not giving her enough time? If it weren't for that accident, Donnie would be alive and my brother would be healthy and running the company instead of me. Everything has fallen on me. No wonder I don't have time for Anna. And it's all because of Han, pondered the man. He was so deeply immersed in his thoughts that he himself didn't notice Cheryl coming quite close to the guy to hug the child. But Justin did not tolerate such contact between them. "Why did you come so close to me? Don't forget the terms of the contract," mentioned the man. "I just wanted to give Anna a hug. Don't worry, I won't pay attention to you and fall madly in love," said the girl while wondering how the man even thought something like that. She could see how spoiled Justin was. In the evening of the same day, David informed her that he had to leave for a company for work. "You need to explain to Anna that Donnie is her mom, and this woman is just a nanny, a temporary employee," David reminded one last time before leaving. The man was now left standing with the baby in his arms. Well, then he noticed Cheryl, who was talking to the nanny. "Mr. Justin, if you can stay with your daughter, then I'll go. I need to visit a friend in the hospital," started begging the girlfriend. "You'll only be able to leave when your work hours come to an end," said Justin, while thinking that he shouldn't let Anna be alone with this woman for too long. Justin thought back to what David had said about the guy having to explain to Anna that her mom was Donnie. That said, the guy did inquire about where Cheryl was going to go. Listen and remember, this is private property and you are not allowed in here. That's when the guy suddenly said the same thing. The girl didn't even realize why Justin had mentioned it abruptly at all. Private territory? He thinks he lives in a palace? You upstart. I'm not your slave. And what do you expect me to praise? The protagonist didn't understand. The next day, Mrs. Jean was helping Justin's family's older brother Max get around. Justin, I'm a completely unnecessary person right now. Anyone can start laughing, said Max, directly downplaying his strength after being in a car accident. Brother, please don't say that, Justin asked then. That woman still dares to invite you to the wedding. She dumped me and decided to make fun of me like that, declared the man. All because of those useless legs. What good is rehabilitation? I can't stand up! Angry at the cruelty and injustice of his life, Max was angry. Although Justin assured his brother to make sure Max didn't think about his wife anymore. The doctor still said that the guy had a good chance of recovering, so Justin assured that Max should believe in himself. But when Justin talked about being able to go out with Max, his older brother got even angrier. I don't need your help! I don't want your pity! Shouted Max. Still, their argument was able to be quieted by the little girl reaching for her uncle. Anna remembered Max, so she even reached up to kiss him. It was really quite sweet. Maybe she learned that when the nanny was feeding her. Justin thought aloud. Just then, Jean approached the baby girl's father to ask him some questions. But there were so many questions that Tin Well didn't even want to answer any of them. Justin, have you found someone who can keep an eye on Anna? Is her name Cheryl? Justin, did you do a thorough background check on her? Is that right? Where's her family? What is her family doing? Is she related to Han? The mom started questioning, and that's when Justin just turned around as he was tired of listening to so many questions. At that, Justin explained that he had asked his employee to check on her. The girl, after all, was just a regular shopkeeper who is not related to Khan. The next day, as Cheryl was negotiating her duties with the babysitter, Justin approached her. Justin told Aunt Lana that Anna was playing with her older brother right now, but as soon as the woman heard crying, she needed to drop everything and go to the baby. Come with me. I want to talk to you. Justin informed Cheryl at the same time. The nanny, who was standing nearby, advised the girl to listen to the man and really follow him quickly. Lana had been working with this family for about 5 years, so she could give definite advice. She explained to the girl that Justin absolutely does not like to be kept waiting. That said, when Cheryl approached the guy after a few minutes, he immediately got angry and called the girl a turtle. But Cheryl was also stubborn and confident, so she didn't swallow such unpleasant remarks to her credit. No one told me you were waiting for me. Nanny answered him dryly. Who just told me that his time is valuable, and yet he himself stands there staring at me instead of saying anything? The girl also skillfully pointed out. Don't forget. Remember, whoever asks you about your family, say you are an orphan. Then suddenly the man commanded, What, my father is still alive and well? Do you want me to call myself an orphan? Mr. Justin, what is the reason? Surprisedly asked the girl. But the boy answered her rudely that there was no reason. You'll be forced to say so, even if you don't want to, he declared. And what if I don't? Mr. Justin, need I remind you of the contract? You can't treat me like this. The confident girl continued to speak and looked at him fiercely with a glare. I have a reason, and it's Anna, so you have to say so. If you have any problems, call me or you can call me, said Justin and was about to leave. Mr. Jackson, if you are not satisfied with me, you can terminate the contract. Then suddenly the girl stated, This is your annual salary, and if you have already received it, be kind enough to be a good babysitter, replied the man, who also did not defer to her choice. Whereupon, Justin left the office, slamming the door. When the girl returned to the baby girl, she saw that Anna was in the arms of another woman. Cheryl did not even realize what kind of woman it was, so they had to get acquainted. But the nanny was the first to tell the girl that Mrs. Jean, Mr. Justin's mother, was sitting on the couch with the baby. "Hello, ma'am. I'm Cheryl, Anna's new nanny." The girl introduced herself, and the woman asked her to sit down for a little chat. "Mistress Cheryl, have we met before?" Justin's mom asked first. "You may be mistaken. I'm just a simple sales clerk at a convenience store at night." With a smile, the girl explained. Jean watched the little girl treat the babysitter. At the moment, she remembered Anna's real mother, so the woman became very sad. To change the subject, Jean decided to ask about Cheryl's family. "Mrs. Cheryl, who else do you have in your family?" inquired Madame. The girl then replied that she had only her father. But then, at the same time, the little girl pulled a card out of her nanny's pocket. This diverted their conversation a bit to another topic, as Jean inquired what the card was. "This is my salary card. Mr. Justin just gave it to me, saying he would pay my salary for the year if I would take care of Anna," said the nanny. "Anna is our granddaughter, and we all love her. But Justin is too busy working to look after the little girl. Mistress Cheryl, I trust Justin's choice. I agree with you being Anna's nanny. I think you are a good girl," the woman admitted. "Anna, Grandma needs to see how your uncle is doing. Obey your nanny," before leaving, said the woman, and stroked the little girl's head. Now Anna was once again alone together with her favorite nanny, whom the girl called Mommy. After the grandmother saw her granddaughter, she again went to spend time with Max. The boy immediately asked if his mom had met the new nanny. "I didn't quite get acquainted, but it's a beautiful and nice girl. I realized it right away. She's a little stubborn, though. That's something Donnie didn't have. She's understandable. Donnie was born into affluence, and Cheryl has always fought for the good life," the woman thought. That's when she noticed that Max had started spinning his own wheels, since he was going somewhere. The boy revealed that he wanted to get closer so he could hear Anna's laughter better. While Cheryl was taking a break from working with the baby, another nanny named Lana was looking after the little girl. During this time, Cheryl was on the phone with her friend. "Are you okay? Cheryl, did you make your brother leave? I have to take care of either him or myself. Please help me out. Cook me any meal for dinner, please," started impulsively shouting into the receiver Mary. "Cheryl, I heard a child's voice calling for Mommy. Who's there next to you? Those two bad men?" Also continued to question Mary. She didn't know what job her friend had gotten yet, after all. "I'll call you later. Just get a good night's rest. I'll hang up first," said Cheryl, who already had to go play with the baby girl. Cheryl thought that there was no way she could know about what she knew about the underworld and what she could learn. However, at that moment, the girl received another phone call from someone again. This time, it was an unknown number. As soon as Cheryl picked up the phone, she immediately heard someone start yelling at her over the phone call. "You're so slow answering the phone like a turtle. This is my private number. Not a few people know about it. Where is Anna?" Just then, Justin started to get interested. "She's right here. Anna, this is your daddy," said the girl, and then the little girl snatched the phone out of her hands. Anna accidentally hung up when she saw the red button, but Cheryl thought that was even better. Although her father himself was now angry that the caller he had called was now unable to answer his call. It was only after a few minutes that the man was still able to reach the girl. "Cheryl, and how dare you discount my calls?" Even more infuriated, he became even more angry. "Mr. Justin, this is your beautiful daughter. Don't blame me. Mr. Justin, how could you spare your precious time for this call?" The girl continued to tease him. That's when she informed the child's father that she wanted to play with the phone, so that once again, she would not talk to the man again. "Mr. Justin, if you have no more questions, I'm hanging up first," said the stubborn girl. "Anna, I've learned that your dad is quite interesting, a bit arrogant and quick to change his mind. But looking at your pretty face, I don't want to take care of anyone but you." The girl confessed and kissed the baby sweetly on the cheek. So they continued their walk together. However, the time passed really quickly. It was already 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so the girl had to go home. Now she was going to hand the child over to the control of another nanny, but the baby immediately began to cry. At this noise and screaming, Jean came in to ask what was wrong. "Madam, Miss has finished her work. The baby won't let her go. But Miss Cheryl needs to go to the hospital where there is a lot of contagion. The baby can't be carried there." Lana began to explain. "Miss Cheryl, you could stay until Anna falls asleep and then you could leave, okay?" Jean asked. But the girl explained that she had promised her friend that she would make dinner and bring it to her, so she needed to be on her way. "Miss Cheryl, this is easily solved. Let's cook in our kitchen. There's plenty of food at home. I think you can cook anything. And when you're done, I'll help you pass the dinner to your friend." Offered an alternative option, Jean suggested. Cheryl was even a little upset. It turns out she would be borrowing Mistress's kitchen. "That's okay. Justin told us about you. Make yourselves at home," said Jean and smiled. But at the same moment, they heard a man's voice. Justin's father, Bonnie, came running in screaming that Jan had fallen and needed help immediately. As soon as the woman left to help, Cheryl decided to ask the other babysitter who the man even was. "That's Mr. Ian. He and his wife and oldest son live in the house next door," narrated Lana. "Miss Cheryl, this is out of the question. If the mistress hears, you will have no work." Also, in an unexpectedly rude tone, Lana replied when Cheryl asked for more specifics about the man. At this point, the little girl continued to cry. Cheryl explained to the girl that she wasn't going anywhere, but would only take her with her so that they could cook together, and so it happened. As Cheryl ran around the kitchen, right behind her was a little girl tailing her. Anna didn't lag a step behind the nanny. "Miss Cheryl, why don't you take the little girl and I can do the cooking?" Decided to suggest to Lana, who was watching this funny spectacle from the sidelines. "You don't have to. I can't fool her. We've been friends for 9 years. She'll know it wasn't me cooking." Friendly refused the girl. At the same moment, the nanny noticed the gentleman's car pulling up to their house. "You'd better look after Anna. I'll meet the young gentleman," said the nanny, and immediately hurried outside. Now, Cheryl understood why Justin was so arrogant. Finally, after a few hours, Cheryl had done everything she wanted to do. Her heart had calmed down, but there was still a lot of work ahead. "Anna, come on, I poured you some soup. Be careful, it's still hot," said Nanny. Just then, Mr. Justin walked into the house. From the threshold, the man heard a pleasant aroma, so he asked what the women were cooking today. Lana explained to him that it was Miss Cheryl who was cooking. When the guy approached the baby, he saw that the nanny was spoon-feeding her. But that's also when Justin got angry, as the brash Cheryl didn't say hello to him properly. "You don't see me as your master? Is it hard for you to say hello when I'm back?" Expressed the man's indignation. "And you're a funny man. Someone told me that I'm not a servant here and can be free," said Cheryl smartly. "What do you feed her? Anna's food is prepared by a chef, so don't feed her plain food. And if she gets sore after eating, can you look after her?" The man continued to get angry. "I don't see any problem, Mr. Justin. Please explain to me about them." Then replied the stubborn girl who was not about to give in to his rude provocations. "Mr. Justin, I am not that kind of person. I repeat, I am a decent woman. I would never do such a thing." In a serious tone, the protagonist stated, "I made a soup with high calcium content. The food is not lethal, moreover, Anna liked it," added the girl, in defense of herself. "There's still some left. Will you have some? You work hard, so eating soup will be good for you. Go and wash your hands while I pour you some soup," said the girl without even asking her superior's opinion. "You can test my skills. I don't want you to think I made your daughter eat something unpalatable," the girl then prompted. However, Justin stood his ground and said he didn't want to eat that soup. Still, the guy went to wash his hands before he started the meal. He did agree to try the soup that Cheryl had made, as her dish smelled very tasty and tempting. However, Justin continued to break down when the girl offered him her dish. "The mere sight of it is enough to know it's unpalatable." The man continued to turn his nose up. Even when the nanny asked the child if the girl liked the soup, Anna shouted with delight as a sign that the soup was indeed delicious. "Anna, your daddy apparently doesn't like it. It's not very pretty to be picky about food, so eat it all, Anna," Nanny said defiantly. However, as the girl turned away, Justin took the spoon in his hands and hesitantly brought it to his mouth. As soon as he tasted the spoonful, he immediately realized that it was indeed a very tasty delicacy. "Anna has already eaten hers all, of course. I need some too. I want to know how she feels," continued the man's expression so as not to show that he really liked the soup. Right after lunch was over, the girl decided to praise the little girl for eating every last drop of it. "Hee, Anna, good for you. You ate a whole bowl of soup," cheered Cheryl and lightly tossed the girl around as she played with the little girl. When Cheryl turned around, she also noticed that the man had emptied almost all the plates of soup. Justin criticized everything while eating it all himself. After lunch, Justin also decided to take the baby out of the babysitter's arms. "Remember, Anna and I share everything together. Later, if you do anything for her, leave some of it to me," said the man, and it became even more clear that he wanted to try some of Cheryl's other culinary creations as well. "Mr. Justin, so you mean if I cook for Anna, I have to cook for you too?" the girl asked with a smirk. And when the guy confirmed it, the girl gave him a little snicker as well. "Should that include that too?" asked Cheryl and held out a baby bottle of milk to him. In the evening, the man also continued to play with his daughter. But then his assistant informed him that he had an appointment at 7 o'clock, so Justin had to go. But before the man left on business, the girl handed him something specially meant for his own use. Justin initially thought that this lunch in a cute box was meant for him, but that turned out not to be the case. "You misunderstood. It's for my girlfriend and David. I heard you were going into town. My friend is nearby. I want to ask you to take this to her," said the girl. But then the man asked her why she couldn't drive it herself as his time was very valuable. "Because Anna cried a lot. I didn't have time to go to the hospital to see her. I was working extra hours here, that's why," the nanny explained in a sad tone. As soon as Justin heard this, he decided to hand the girl the money for the extra time. Cheryl wasn't doing all this for the money at all, though. Still, it was time to say goodbye to the little girl as the nanny had to leave. Mr. Justin did agree to pass the snack to Cheryl's friend, so a few minutes later, the man was already at the hospital with the pass. All the nurses at the hospital were dragging themselves over the man's good looks. "Not only is he rich, but he's so handsome, isn't he?" the girls whispered. "Cheryl couldn't make it, so she asked me to bring food. She made it herself. It's delicious. She told you to eat the soup first," narrated the man as he started to unpack the snack from the babysitter. At this time, the other people who were in the room didn't even expect such a calm attitude towards Cheryl's request from Justin. It was as if the guy was infected with chattiness from Cheryl. But above all, Justin was doing it all for Anna. Already, when the man was about to leave, he was stopped by Mary. "Wait, where's Cheryl? How do you feel about her?" the girl asked, which caught the guy off guard. Even as Justin walked out of the room, he was stopped by Alex. "Mr. Justin, I'll be blunt. She's a nice girl. I hope you won't hurt her," expressed his concern to his brother. "Are you worried about her? Is it because your mother led them to divorce? You and your family hurt her." The man began to speak up. Of course, Alex didn't stand for all of this and started yelling in response. "This story is just for us. In my heart, she will forever be a sister. I've said everything that needs to be said. If you hurt her, I won't forgive you." In an extremely serious tone, Alex affirmed. Finally, Cheryl was able to meet her best friend. "You're finally here. If you hadn't come, I wouldn't have fallen asleep," the girl admitted. And then her friend explained that she had a new job. "What kind of job? What is your relationship with this man?" Mary immediately inquired. "I agreed to be a nanny for Mr. Justin's daughter," the girl shared. But before Cheryl could even finish her sentence, her friend immediately interrupted her, starting to get angry with the girl. "Are you out of your mind? I told you he's the boss of one of the biggest companies. One's name is David. He's the leader of a gang. Seriously pissed off and scared at the same time, her friend said. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. He's not pleasant, though, but not that kind of person. I'm not crazy. I signed a contract with him willingly, the girl explained. I feel like there's something wrong with one of them. Be careful. Mary warned just in case. But Cheryl promised that she wouldn't stand for oppression, so her friend could take it easy. That's when Cheryl told Alex that she would stay with Mary tonight, and the boyfriend could be the first to go home. Still, before Alex was about to leave, he let the girl know that he wanted to talk to her. They walked out the door of the room so as not to embarrass Mary. Please be careful. Don't let yourself get hurt. If something happens, tell me right away, asked the brother. You really do sound the same, word for word. Then jokingly said the girl who shared such an amusing observation. I'm not that easy to mock. Mr. Justin is a bit arrogant. You don't have to worry about me. Go home, said Cheryl and gave the guy a little push to get him to leave already. Cheryl and Mary slept together that night in the same room, but the girl was distracted from her sleep by an incoming call on her phone. Justin called in the girl to inform her that Anna was awake. You said Anna was docile? Can she sleep through the morning? Not sleeping, crying? The girl began to question. It turned out that the baby cries. No one knows what to do, and no one knows how to calm her down. Therefore, Justin sincerely asked the nanny to come today. It's late. It's not safe for you to go alone. I'll come get you. Okay, go down to the first floor and wait for me, ordered the guy. Indeed, this young man does have another side. As soon as the girl got into the car with her boss, the atmosphere was quite argumentative. The silence was increasingly overwhelming. Therefore, the girl decided to start a dialogue. Have you been busy until now? Anna is not communicating with you that closely. Have you ever thought about it? Inquired Cheryl. She's still young. Once she grows up, things will change, replied the man. But Cheryl herself absolutely did not think so. Not true. You've never played with her. I understand you have a busy schedule, but you need to spend more time with her or your relationship could be ruined. Having babysitters play with your daughter is not the same thing, the girl stated, but the guy kept insisting on his point. He tried to convey to her that if he had the time to look after the child, he wouldn't need a nanny in general. The job the man had now was his responsibility, so he couldn't give it up. But the girl seemed completely unwilling to hear such excuses from him. After all, in your eyes, work is more important than Anna. Even if you look at me like that, it's useless. I told the truth. Don't think that providing for her financially is enough. All children need is the love of their parents. Cheryl continued to convey her thought to him. The girl got so caught up in the explanation that she even started waving her arms. That's when Justin grabbed her arm to calm her down. This is none of your business. You just have to honor the contract, take care of Anna, and remember well, never love me, the man declared. Mr. Justin, rest assured, I will not love you. I told you this because I loved Anna. I want to find a reason. I want to help you be closer to Anna. I don't want you to be jealous of me, the girl explained. And just then they finally ended their conversation. Next, they drove home in absolute silence. As soon as Cheryl arrived home, Anna immediately threw herself into her arms. Only the nanny was able to calm and put the troublesome girl to sleep. I don't think she feels like she's safe. That's why her sleep isn't as deep. She wakes up easily. Thought aloud to her nanny. Looking at it all through his eyes, Justin remembered David's words about the man not allowing Cheryl to be together for long with Anna, since the girl was not the baby girl's biological mother. But he just couldn't do that. A couple minutes later, it suddenly rained heavily. Cheryl thought that she could only stay here for one night. It's getting late. Go to bed. I'll stay with Anna, informed the nanny. Nu rudely asked the girl to get up her with the bed, since this bed was personally chosen by him and his wife for Anna. No one is allowed to lie or sit on it. Well, I'm just a little sleepy, and there's no more room in this room. Besides, if she wakes up, do you want everyone in this house to wake up? That's enough. Go to bed. That's enough. I can leave. I don't want you to look for reasons to fire me," said the girl who had already decided everything for herself. Eventually passing by, Justin saw that Cheryl had gone to sleep on the living room couch. The next morning, the girl woke up and noticed that someone had covered her with a plaid. "I'm the one who covered you. Miss Cheryl, why were you sleeping on the couch? The air conditioning is on, but it's still chilly in here," Lana asked, surprised. "The young master wouldn't let me sleep in the room. If I go into the room, I'm afraid he'll throw me out the window. Have they turned on the air conditioning yet? No wonder I was comfortable sleeping, but I remember not turning it on," the protagonist remarked. "It could only be turned on by the young gentleman and this plaid he told me to bring. Miss Cheryl, under the pressure of hard work, he's always tired, but he's actually very kind." Unexpectedly, the maid told her. Many girls wanted to marry him, especially Chen's second daughter. To be near the young master, she bought a villa nearby. "I'm afraid you will fall in love too," said the maid. "But he is surrounded by other people. I don't want to join them. Before the little one wakes up, I want to take breakfast to my friend," said Cheryl to stop discussing her boss. In the morning, the girl also met Justin. He noticed that the girl was again thinking to drive to her friend's house to take her breakfast. But the guy didn't react in any way, just turned his back and walked away. "Miss Cheryl, take this card. You can use it to enter and exit the villa grounds. I had completely forgotten about it until the young master reminded me of it." It was also the one Lana had given that morning. Cheryl thought she could get a cab, and as she waited for the car, someone who was driving by purposefully doused her completely, quickly driving her into a puddle. When the car stopped, Cheryl noticed David in it. He had purposely doused the girl. At that, the guy, for some reason, didn't drive on, but stopped beside the girl. 10 minutes had already passed and the cab hadn't arrived. So the guy personally decided to offer the girl a ride. Of course, she reacted inappropriately, which made David a little angry. "Are you afraid I'm going to steal you? How much will your body be worth?" Cheekily, the guy replied, "I'm not worth that price, but I believe you have so much kindness," replied the girl kindly. "It is very difficult to catch a cab here. I'm counting to 3. If you don't get in, I'll leave," declared the man, who did not like to wait. Of course, the girl still decided to go together with the guy. She had no other option. A couple seconds later, she was already getting into the car. "I'm going with you. I need to go to the hospital. Here's the payment," said the girl, and the guy silently accepted the bill from her. But Cheryl immediately noticed that David had taken her to the wrong place. This road didn't lead to the hospital. "Well, your money isn't enough for me to take you there. Rest assured, at the entrance to town, I'll stop," said the man with a smirk. This man changes his coloring faster than a chameleon. The girl was already starting to get angry, but then a brilliant idea came into her head on how to slightly taunt the man and get what she wanted. "Mr. David, can you assure me that you will be able to get me to and from the hospital before Anna wakes up? For if Anna wakes up and doesn't see me, she will cry. A lot of crying. Do you want Anna to cry?" prompted the girl. "If you don't want Anna to cry, take me to the hospital quickly," blackmailed the girl asked, and the guy was forced to listen to her. At this time, at Cheryl's family home, Alex was about to leave the house, but his mom was offering him breakfast. "Please pack my breakfast, I'll eat on the way," said the boy. Then Holly's mom asked her son if he had called Cheryl yet. "Do you know where she is? My friend came by yesterday and asked about Cheryl. She wanted to introduce her to a good family," narrated the woman. "Cheryl is a stubborn girl who won't agree to marry a stranger so easily," the guy then remarked. "But I can't help but say that the man she will marry is a good one. It's the president of the corporation, David." Suddenly, the woman spoke up. She was talking specifically about the very same David with whom the girl was already perfectly familiar. At this time, Cheryl was just leaving the hospital. She got back into the car with David to ask him to drive her home. Just then, her phone vibrated with an incoming call. "Hello, Mr. Alex. Why are you calling so early? Have you had breakfast yet?" the girl inquired. "If I'm not mistaken, you're on your way to the hospital to see Mary now, aren't you? I've already taken food to her. I'm afraid she'll eat your breakfast, too. The girl said jokingly, for she did not yet know what serious news the lad was about to report to her. My mom wants to marry you off, declared the man. But what was the girl's surprise when Cheryl learned that the woman wanted to marry the girl off to David. David's awful, isn't he? Doesn't she know that? I left home a long time ago, but she still won't leave me alone, scrolled through Cheryl's mind. However, all the girl could say was to thank Alex's mom for her concern as respect. A few minutes later, David had already given the girl a ride to the house. Before she got out of the car, however, the man was still going to talk to her about something. I bring you back, and you won't even say thank you. Roughly, he started the conversation. Thank you. You wanted to insult me. Then you drove me out of town. In other words, you wanted to make sure I didn't arrive on time. The girl didn't answer him nicely. If that's the way you want it, I'll help you feel it one more time. Continuing to harangue the men, but Cheryl still didn't give up. She was so confident that she was not at all afraid to speak even to such respectable and serious people directly. At the same moment, Cheryl noticed another pink car standing at the entrance. The girl didn't know who it belonged to, but just then she accidentally bumped into a stranger. It was Chen. Cheryl decided to introduce herself first. I'm Anna's nanny. The girl said hello and smiled welcomingly. Mr. Justin, Anna has a new nanny again? She's so young. Does she even know how to take care of children? Immediately, the girl began to scorn her. Well, then the nanny informed her that Anna was awake. So the girl had to get to work and go to soothe the little girl. As Cheryl was getting up, Justin noticed that she was holding the very same snack box in her hands. Oh, right. He's clean. I used that container for him, didn't I? Pondered the girl. Therefore, she told the guy that she would definitely wash that lunchbox. As soon as she left, Chen walked up to Justin and grabbed his hand. Mr. Justin, I want to see Anna, said the girl, while thinking about the fact that she was much prettier than Cheryl. But the man himself was not thrilled that this lady was trying to get so close to him. We're on par with your father. Call me uncle, he said, and pulled his hand out of her embrace as well. After that, Justin decided to go upstairs to interact with the little girl as well. He wanted to take Anna in his arms, but the girl wanted to be in the arms of her favorite nanny. After a while, Justin had to leave for work, so he decided to say goodbye to the little girl. To his surprise, the little girl even waved her daddy with her hand. It looked very cute. Before, when I was leaving, Donnie and Anna also saw me off. They used to part with me, the man recalled in the moment. Justin also offered David some company, but the guy declined as he wanted to stay and play a little with Anna. When the girl went out into the yard to play with the baby, immediately thought that the little girl should eat porridge now. But her nanny thought otherwise. Anna just woke up. She's still sleepy and doesn't want to eat. Let her take a walk first. As soon as she feels hungry, we'll eat, reported Neck. Even when David was going to play with the baby and squatted down to be on the same level as the baby, the girl still chose her babysitter. She only wanted to play with Cheryl. Even though she's Han's daughter, she's the only one Anna is happy with, the man remarked, and still decided to leave the nanny alone with the child. As soon as David left, Lana asked the girl if she really wasn't afraid of the menacing man at all. I'm afraid because he's creepy and doesn't like me, but I'm lucky Anna likes me, the girl confessed, and continued playing with the little girl. Several hours passed. Cheryl continued playing with the baby in the garden. But that day, Anna was too capricious. She was constantly crying and running away. Although Cheryl was completely calm about it, children will cry until they get their way, and it will not become a habit if adults encourage it. Because of this, Cheryl decided to take the time to make educational points. Anna, if you don't listen to me, I'll leave, said the girl, before really starting to distance herself from Anna. The girl screamed and called out for her mommy, but Cheryl proudly did not respond to her pleas. Just then, she ran to her mom to catch up with her and accidentally tripped over a rock. It was lucky that Cheryl turned around in time and managed to fall to the floor just in time to pick up the little girl. The little girl didn't get hit at all, but when the little girl noticed that Cheryl had an abrasion on her leg, she became very scared, and because of that, the little girl started crying even more. At the same moment, Justin happened to be in that place. He took the situation completely differently from what had actually happened. "What are you doing? You don't need to explain anything. I saw the whole thing. You have me to babysit for Anna, and I don't want you to abuse her love. You're fired. Leave now." In a stern tone, the man ordered. It was obvious that he was not going to change his mind anymore. "I don't know what you're thinking, but I want to explain. I wanted to teach her that getting close to the lake is not allowed, because every day people with her are too kind to her. As soon as she cries, everyone starts feeling sorry for her. All this will create a bad habit. I agree that I used the wrong parenting method, but I never neglected love. I have never mistreated her. If you think that's the case, it's because of me." The girl tried to explain. "Every time she cries, I have to answer to make her calm down. I can't. You don't have to fire me, because I'll quit on my own. Oh, unfortunately, I'm already gone." The proud girl decided for herself. "Wait! Did I ask you to come back? All I'm asking is to pick up the card and put it in my hands. Otherwise, I'll accuse you of embezzling my money." The man then cheekily stopped her. "Mr. Justin, please take it. All the money is in the account. I didn't take a single dollar. It would be better if you would check the account yourself and make sure I haven't embezzled anything for myself," said the proud girl before finally walking away and throwing the card on the floor, showing her emotions. As Cheryl walked away, the little girl kept screaming after her and calling for her mommy back. But this infuriated the man even more. "Anna, she's not your mommy! Aunt Lana, escort Cheryl out and get her card!" demanded the man. As Justin sat in his office, he was still thinking about his daughter's condition. "If Anna is still crying, will she soon forget Cheryl?" pondered the man. It was then that he received an incoming message from David. He had sent him a picture of the baby. Anna was in that picture eating porridge cutely. "David, did you have someone edit this photo? Has Anna eaten porridge yet today?" That's when Justin decided to call to clarify this point. Cheryl taught Anna to eat on her own. Cheryl herself said so. Also, she's Han's daughter, but she's a good fit for Anna, so I think you did the right thing by accepting her as a nanny," expressed David's point of view. "Those are just excuses. I fired her." Then in a gruff tone, the man on the phone said, "You were hurt by that incident, so you fired her? But if Anna cries non-stop, you'll have to put aside your pride and call her back," said David. But Justin thought his decision was the right one. At any rate, the man decided that he would be better off looking for some other babysitter. After the phone conversation with David, Justin called the other staff members. "Young master, Miss Cheryl said we are no longer needed at the hospital. She will look after her friend herself," said one of the guards. "Keep helping her until her friend is discharged. While you are working with her, I will be writing you bonuses. Ignore what Cheryl says. We work as agreed," resolved the gentleman to order his employees. Meanwhile, while Cheryl was in the hospital, Justin came to her one evening with a baby in his arms. The girl immediately realized that something was wrong here. "She has a high fever. She wants to see you," said Anna's father. It was obvious that the girl really felt very bad. On top of that, the little girl kept calling for her mommy even while in such a terrible condition. Of course, such an attitude of Justin to Anna angered the former nanny. "Why aren't you taking care of your baby? Why does she have a temperature of 39 degrees? Why didn't you bring her in sooner? Anna, be patient a little. Now everything will pass," said the girl and took the child to the pediatric department of the hospital. The doctor said that due to an infection in the throat, there was a high fever and inflammation. The girl would even need to buy medicine. After that, in the waiting room, when Cheryl was alone with the baby, the girl thought about the fact that the day her mom left, she felt the same way. At that time, her father wouldn't let Cheryl see her mom. But Cheryl learned that Justin was clearly better than her dad. The guy kept offering his help that night. "Mr. Justin, fill a glass with warm water for Anna. A person with a fever needs to drink more water," asked the girl. It was time to administer the medication. Justin told her that Anna always found it difficult to drink the medication, but Cheryl decided to try to personally give the syrup to the little girl. "Anna, if you don't drink the medicine, you won't get better. Anna, listen to me. If you drink them, I will stay with you and you will get better quickly," said the girl. And then the child actually drank the medicine. "Mr. Justin, Anna is already asleep. Take her home," asked the girl. But then Justin emphasized on the fact that she had just promised the child that she would be with her. "That was to get her to take the medicine. She's asleep now and won't know about it," said Cheryl. "You have to keep your promise to her. Don't teach my daughter bad things. The problem now is her upbringing. If you want to be with Anna, then keep your promise. However, children learn quickly, even if you don't indulge them." Then the stubborn man began to stand his ground. "Mr. Justin, you said it. All right, I'll be with her. If that's the case, can you help me with David as well?" The protagonist of this story decided to agree. Afterward, as they drove home together, Cheryl had a strong urge to sleep. On the way, she relaxed and accidentally put her head on the man's shoulder, after which she fell asleep. "You're tired because you were taking care of Anna. Okay, I'll let you lay on my shoulder for a while," thought the man. In the morning, the girl woke up in an unfamiliar room in bed. As soon as she decided to leave the room, she was immediately greeted by Justin. "Miss Cheryl, did you sleep well? I carried you here because you wouldn't wake up," said the man. As she replayed his words in her head, the girl realized that he had personally carried her upstairs in his arms. "There's a bunch of servants here. Why exactly did he do that? Well, if Anna's fever is already gone, it turns out I kept my word I can't go home," thought the girl. "She's still so young. Spend more time with her. Don't always leave her with the babysitter," Cheryl asked one last time before leaving. When the girl went down to the first floor, she met with a stranger. The woman looked very beautiful and graceful. Cheryl decided to introduce herself first in order to get acquainted. "My name is Lewis. I was surprised when Mr. Justin called me in the middle of the night and asked me to bring him some clothes. Turns out he had such a beautiful girl as his guest. You have a nice figure," complimented the pleasant woman. Cheryl was exactly the kind of girl Lewis needed. She, as a clothing designer, needed a model. Well then, Cheryl informed him that she had already been fired. "Really? If that's the case, come to my company. We have tons of openings. You can pick anyone you want. You can set your own salary." The lady began to offer enticingly, but their conversation was interrupted by Justin. "I signed a contract with her. Cheryl, these things are a gift. Before Anna wakes up yet, take a shower and change your clothes. You smell bad," the cocky man then said. "Cheryl, if you don't have a job, make sure you find me. Bye." Before leaving, said the friendly girl. Right after Louis left, Cheryl decided to find out what was going on from her boss. Mr. Justin, after all, told her yesterday that he wanted to break the contract. "As you know, the arrangement hasn't been canceled yet. It's still valid. If you don't agree, then go and personally sign it," the man stated. "Young master, the baby will wake up soon. She's not used to this change yet. She won't see Cheryl and will cry." Nanny Lana, who was worried about the baby's condition, intervened in the conversation. But Justin told the woman not to worry, as he was sure the girl would be back soon. When Cheryl went outside to get some fresh air since the bastard had pissed her off a lot, she met up with Chen again. It was obvious that the girls were not happy with each other. Since Cheryl ignored Chen, Chen got really angry and was already ready to hit Cheryl. But luckily for her, Justin was nearby and caught his hand on the girls. "Go and take a shower, wash the container. I'll send someone to pick you up in an hour," said the man. Right after Cheryl left, Chen decided to talk to Justin. "Bro, I feel like she's not right for us. Let's change the nanny. She's going to hurt Anna." The girl decided to speak up, but then her brother answered her that it's absolutely none of her business. So much Justin was not going to listen to the girl that he even slammed the front door right in front of her. "If you make Anna wake up, you're never coming in here again," informed the brother. How very angry Chen was at that moment. "Anna, shit! All this time I've been trying so hard and he didn't even give me a chance. But that's okay. I'll clean her up some more," thought the girl. Sneaky, it's obvious he wants me back, but he's acting so arrogant. Can't apologize or invite me in a human way. Last night he took advantage of Anna's condition by forcing me to go home, and now he's using the contract to intimidate me. Noticed the protagonist while in the car. That's when she called Mary to ask to stay at her friend's house. "Are you back at work yet?" the acquaintance inquired. His attitude is changing so fast, and it's annoying me. Apparently he misunderstood me. He wants me to come back, but he doesn't ask for forgiveness. He just threatens me, said the girl. Mary even admitted that she really doesn't understand her. The girl says so, but for some reason she still wants to go back there. "I see the condition Anna is in, the same condition I was in. I don't want to leave because of Anna. This girl is so dear to me since we have some kind of bond with her. When she calls me Mom, I feel special. She is like my daughter. So maybe it's the will from above," Cheryl thought. As soon as the girl got out of the car, the assistant handed over her clothes. Cheryl didn't want to take the gift from the servant's hands, but he explained that if she didn't take the clothes, he would be fired. Therefore, the girl was forced to take such a gift. 3 hours later, Cheryl met Justin at home. The girl had changed her clothes and looked amazing. As soon as the baby saw her, she immediately got excited about her mommy and jumped right into the girl's arms. "She's not fully healed yet. Go to the hospital with her," asked the child's father. "Another $24,000 was added here," Justin said then and handed the girl a bank card. "What? You raised my paycheck? If you fire me again, will you raise it another $10,000? The girl asked in a sarcastic tone. "What are you standing there for? I actually have to go to work. Walk me out," the man asked unexpectedly. He had just loved this atmosphere of being escorted to work last time, which was why Justin was going to do it again. But Cheryl didn't seem to be thrilled with such a request. Then Nanny Lana whispered in her ear that the guy liked being seen off. "Can't this man talk straight?" the girl thought to herself at that moment. However, Justin was still making a proud underdog of himself. "In just 2 days, someone has become dumb," said the man. There was that hateful arrogance in him again. When Justin returned to the company, he met David there. The guy told him that he had invited Cheryl's babysitter back. "A man like you is inferior to her?" David asked, surprised. But there was no time to think about it as the gentleman was informed that his aunt had arrived. When the woman arrived, she was surprised to see that Mr. Justin was also here. "Don't worry. I didn't come to you for money. I am here this time because I found you a girl. She is beautiful, nice, and understanding. When can I introduce you?" Just then, the woman began to ask around. Even David's excuse that he was busy right now didn't work on her. "Even if you're busy, you still have to eat. So instead of eating, meet her. Cheryl is very nice. She's Mr. Han's only daughter. His power is the second in town," said the woman. And then David was greatly surprised that it was Cheryl, whom he already knew, who was now being talked about. "Are you sure she's Cheryl? Is she Han's daughter?" Still, David decided to ask again. Sure enough, the woman confirmed it. Then all the guy's doubts were gone. However, he wasn't going to marry this girl, so he had to think of something. "I heard that her relationship with her father is not very good. She left home unexpectedly and no one knew where she was." David began to narrate. "Once you agree, Mistress will talk to her. Be calm. She is still Cheryl's mom, Holly. She has always considered her her daughter. David, it's up to you to make the decision to meet with Cheryl." Before the woman could say anything, the guy agreed to go to the meeting. He asked the woman to pick a time next month. "David, do you really want to meet Cheryl?" Justin asked, surprised. Aren't you excited? Her father and stepmother are in a hurry to marry her off to their already enemy. I wonder what they're up to, replied the cunning lad. However, Justin informed him that it was suspicious, but David was no longer listening to his acquaintance. Are you afraid I'll like Cheryl? David asked with a smirk. Even if all women die, I'll never like Han's daughter. I agree to meet Cheryl because I want to condition the relationship between them even more. I really want to see a bad relationship between father and daughter. I want them to see each other as enemies, declared David, who was already certain that he would never be at peace again. Justin, don't think about it anymore. Lee is having a party tonight. Have Cheryl come too, whoever else is going to be there, close friends, said David. And that's when Justin realized that it turns out he would have to move his babysitter there. At that time, Cheryl went with Lana to the hospital. They needed to check on Anna's condition. The baby was still sleeping, even though she was in the hospital. At the same time, the girl unexpectedly met with her old acquaintance. Cheryl, what's wrong? You don't remember who I am? My name is Leon. I haven't seen you in about 8 years. You've gotten even more beautiful. The doctor said hello, and that's when the girl really recognized her acquaintance. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't even remember. It's been a long time since I've seen you. You've changed so much. The girl was surprised. Of course, initially the doctor thought that Cheryl was already married and holding her daughter in her arms. But the girl explained that she was the baby girl's nanny. She had a fever last night, and the inflammation hasn't gone away yet, so I brought her in for a checkup, said the girl, and then the guy informed her that he could examine the little girl since he was a pediatrician. This was great news. This, of course, Lana reported to Justin. She has a friend who is a doctor. Yeah, a guy, young, wears glasses, seems very polite. Notice they have a dynasty of doctors. His name is Dr. Leo. He's interested in Miss Cheryl. When he found out she was single, he just glowed with happiness, another nanny reported. Aunt Lana, don't talk to me about things unrelated to Cheryl. Tell her the Lee family is having a party tonight. She has to go there too. I'll tell Louie to get her address for her, ordered the boss. As soon as the man hung up the phone, he thought about the fact that no matter where this girl was, she always attracted the attention of others. It was obvious that it was as if the guy was angry about it. Meanwhile, the doctor, after examining the little girl, suggested that the girls go out for some fresh air. We haven't seen each other for so long. Today we had a chance to socialize again. We can talk at the table. I'm inviting you to dinner. Cheryl, do you agree? Asked the guy, but the girl had to refuse because she had to take the baby girl home. Then the doctor offered to take the baby with him, but before the girl could even respond to his offer, Justin appeared on the horizon. Mr. Justin, what are you doing here? Cheryl asked, surprised. What? I can't come over? You're bothering her with your ex, replied the guy who seemed to be jealous of the girl. Mr. Justin, you can accuse me, but you have no right to slander others, said Cheryl, continuing to think about how horrible of a person he was. The girl realized that it would be very difficult to change his character. He's always like this. We can meet when I'm free. We'll talk about it later, explained and offered an alternative option the girl to her familiar doctor. Here's my card. Take it, just in case. Then in farewell gave the man. When the girl got into the car with Justin and Anna to drive home, the little girl was interested in the business card. This cardboard was bright and attractive, so the little girl wanted to play with it a little. Give me that piece of paper. Anna, you have to listen to me. Anna, come here. Do you want to see the scenery? Questioned Cheryl, but the little girl continued to be naughty. Anna decided to sit in her daddy's arms for a while, looking out the window, and purposely threw the paper out the window herself. The business card flew so far away that no one would ever find it. After which the joyful girl returned to the arms of her Mommy. Of course, Cheryl did not scold the child because she was just mischievous, but at the same time it was obvious that the girl was definitely upset. However, Justin decided to strike up a conversation on the subject. What's wrong? Is your heart broken? Why did you let her have it? She didn't know the significance of that paper. If you want, I'll tell the driver to turn. You can go out and get it." Then the man said, "Then tell him to stop. I'll take it," replied the girl. But Justin explained that they couldn't stop here or they would be detained by the police. "Just paper. I have plenty of sheets like this. I can make amends. If that piece of paper isn't enough for you, you can have this whole box," said the man and handed over his business cards. That's when he decided to let her know that there was going to be a party tonight. The girl was about to tell him that it was none of her business, but the guy explained that she would be there with him and Anna. Anna should get more sleep and the parties end late. Are you sure she should go there? Will you be able to look after her? The girl, who had no intention of going to the party, continued to insist. I'm not, but you can, assured the man. I don't like to take part in such events. Cheryl continued to insist. But the guy could no longer be persuaded, especially since it was their plan with David to meet the man. You're Anna's babysitter. You should always be with her. You have to help me with Anna anyway. That will be enough. I can pay extra on top. $1,000 a night. How about it? Suggested Justin. However, the girl informed him that she wasn't doing it for the money. This woman. She looks like Donnie, but why are their personalities so different? No, she can't be compared to Donnie because she's Han's daughter. At the moment, Justin pondered. The girl also felt the guy's stern gaze on her at that moment. That look. When something like that happens, that's how he looks. Mary once said that there was a conflict between Han's family and Justin's family. I don't want to make it worse. I've never appeared in public with him yet. If it's about business, he shouldn't get that close, thought the girl. However, Cheryl was so thoughtful that she didn't even notice Justin creeping very close to her. What are you doing? The girl asked, surprised, pushing the guy away. Why are you asking me that? Why are you looking at me with that caviar? Remember the contract and the clause that forbids you to love me. Decided to remind the man. They argued some more in the car, but thankfully they were home before long. As soon as Anna returned home, she immediately sat down to eat. The baby can already eat by herself, and it's all the merit of Cheryl. As it turned out, before the arrival of the girl in their home, the girl used to be cared for by her mom. She was also, as now, independent according to Lana. After her mom died, she was out of her mind. We would show her a picture of Mrs. Donnie, and she would become a little more obedient. Nanny recounted. In the moment, Cheryl reflected that a year ago there was a car accident where Anna's mom died. But even then, the girl remembered that her dad had died in a car accident at the same time. Aunt Lana, that accident. Who was the initiator of it? Who was responsible for the accident? Abruptly, Cheryl began to question. However, Lana informed the girl that it was a forbidden topic and could not be discussed further. Still, the nanny was able to tell a little about what had happened. That night, she went with the older gentleman to look for the young master. There was an accident, she died, and the elder master was in a serious condition. The other car belonged to Han. He wasn't badly hurt, so sorry for her, so young, narrated Lana. All Cheryl's assumptions were confirmed that moment. Just as she thought, it was her father. Mr. Khan's car slowed down when turning. He honked. The older gentleman's car was rushing at high speed even though he was braking. Therefore, it wasn't Mr. Han's fault. Tried to explain to Cheryl. But the eldest master couldn't accept this truth. They were very fond of Mrs. Donnie. That's where all the hatred came from. Explained Aunt Lana with great regret. When a loved one dies, everyone will be affected, but you can't blame an innocent person. Cheryl spoke up. Mistress Cheryl, it didn't happen to you. You can't understand the pain in their hearts. Lana replied then. However, this whole situation reminded the girl of her mother's death, which was also unexpected. Cheryl had been angry at her father for 10 years. Now the girl knows that Justin hates her father. But at the same time, he agreed to take her in as Anna's nanny, and Cheryl thought the man didn't care about Anna. That's when the girl got a call on her cell phone. It was Justin, who decided to ask about his child's nutrition. The nanny told her that she had almost eaten. The evening gown will be here soon. Try it on. If it's not the right size, tell her. She'll alter it. Justin also asked. But the girl stated that she didn't really want to wear an evening gown. It didn't really matter since she was just a babysitter after all. I had preconceived beliefs about you. I know you're very fond of Anna. I used to yell at you, thinking you loved your job more than your daughter. I apologize, Cheryl then said in surprise. However, the man also wanted to apologize to the girl. I'll try to spend more time with Anna, so if there are no more problems, then I'll disconnect. I'm very busy. I wasted 2 minutes. My time is very precious. The man promised and dropped the call. Time passed unnoticed. Night had fallen. As Cheryl was putting the baby girl to bed, she crouched down nearby to watch the child. At the same moment, spontaneously, a dark silhouette crept up from behind right next to Cheryl.